What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy from Shook Earth Media, and today I'm excited to be talking about The Walking Dead, the final 8 episodes ever. The original show is, of course, ending, and this Sunday we are seeing the beginning of the end. So we already did my death predictions video. You can check that out. I'll put it up in the iCard. You can take a look at that, but we're going to just predict generally what I expect to see, what I would like to see, and we're going to get into all that. But if you like Walking Dead content and you want to take this journey with me, definitely hit the sub button, the like button. I would love to hear your opinions about this in the comment section down below. I think the first 2 episodes are going to be really action-packed. We ended the previous part of the final season with Hornsby from the Commonwealth taking over all of our group's communities. We have Alexandria taken over. Oceanside looks like it's about to be completely and utterly devastated and destroyed by this man Hornsby. So he's got a separate contingent of soldiers. He's almost doing his own separate thing aside from the Miltons. So he, I think, is going to be the main focus of these first couple episodes. So we already see him tied up in a chair here. I think that the first episode is going to involve fighting with his soldiers and ultimately kidnapping him, and that's going to lead us to the next section. I wanted to make a brief comparison because I had this thought the other day. If you guys will remember back to season 7 and 8, in the Negan arc, the war with the Saviors, we had a character called Simon, portrayed by Stephen Ogg, the actor for Trevor from GTA 5. And he was pretty much a minor villain in the arc. He pretty much was the more evil version of Negan. So he was the guy who wiped out all the men in Oceanside. He did a lot of things that Negan would not approve of. And they kind of did this so that they can make the Saviors a little bit extra evil without making Negan extra evil. They didn't want to make Negan into the governor. They wanted to make Negan a little bit more nuanced, where you can see his perspective, and ultimately I like that. But basically they gave us this character Simon to be the evil bastard that we all hate so that we can have a contrast to Negan. So in my opinion, I think that Hornsby is essentially the same character for this final season. I think he is the Commonwealth's worst excesses embodied in a person. Because if you haven't read the comics, in the comics, the Commonwealth was actually the good guys. Our group ends up leaving Alexandria and the Hilltop to join the Commonwealth. I do think that we're going to get something similar. I don't think that the Commonwealth is just going to be full-on, absolutely, unrelentingly evil, because we already have the CRM. We already have a big group with a lot of resources that is completely evil. I mean, the CRM is absolutely evil. There's no question about it. All the unethical experiments they're doing, in addition to wiping out one whole community of their 3 communities, they wiped a whole group of people out. That's like hundreds of thousands of people. They are irredeemably evil. I don't think we're going to get the same thing with the Commonwealth, simply because it's a little repetitive. So I think that Hornsby is the Simon of the Commonwealth. And I like this character. I find him interesting. I do think that he will be taken care of in the next couple episodes. I think we're going to stage a fight. We're going to have a couple episodes that are fully action-packed, and we will end that with either Hornsby's death or he will be used as a bargaining chip against the Commonwealth. So that's my prediction for the first couple episodes. If you guys saw The Talking Dead, there was a preview of these final 8 episodes. They did a brief scene. I'm not going to talk about it too much because we'll just talk about that scene when we review the episode. But in that scene, we saw Daryl and who was it? I think it was Maggie. Daryl and Maggie in an abandoned house. It looked like the same house that Daryl and Rosita had that little training exercise. It looked like that area. I could be wrong about that, but that's what it looked like. They were in the house waiting for the soldiers to come up, and they were going to take them all out one by one, according to Daryl. That was their plan. So I think we're going to jump right into the action. And weirdly enough, we got a voiceover. This first episode is going to have voiceovers from Judith, which I think is interesting. So I was about to hit upload on this video, and then I was combing through the video looking for pictures for the thumbnail, and I found this still, which I found interesting and wanted to discuss it in this video. So this is definitely Carol leading Lance Hornsby here. You can tell it's him because he's got this injury here that he's got wrapped up. You can see it in the shot earlier with him tied up on his right arm. So yeah, that's definitely Hornsby. That's got to be Carol. That's what her hair looks like, and I think we saw her with this rifle and a similar outfit in another scene. So and they're facing down a bunch of Commonwealth soldiers with guns pointed at them. So this is interesting. I think, of course, we've had the plot line with Carol getting in Lance's good graces. So I don't know if she's playing the double agent here. She's pretending to work with him, or maybe they've kidnapped him already and this is them, and Carol's acting like his prison guard. But I find that unlikely because I would figure that she would have the gun trained on him and she would have him in front of her. So I find it interesting that the soldiers are aimed at Hornsby as well. I would have thought they might be on his side. And so it looks like Carol's defending him, because if the soldiers were on Lance's side, the best move for Carol would be to use the gun to use Lance as a hostage, to hold him at gunpoint and use him as leverage, or at least try to get away, use him as a meat shield or whatever. So this is another group of Commonwealth soldiers that are, I guess, coming to get Lance. And for some reason, Carol's defending him. So I don't know what's up with that. He's not restrained or anything. Lance is not restrained, so I don't think he's a prisoner. So I don't know what's happening here. Let me know your thoughts. Back to the regularly scheduled video. So what's going to happen after this whole operation where we steal Hornsby and we go against the Miltons? I think that we're going to continue the rebellion storyline. I think that Mercer is going to join our crew. He's going to find out what happened here. It's not going to stay secret for too long. And I mean, we got hordes coming in. They're going to try to get as many, in the screenwriting industry, we call it ticking clocks. So the herd coming in is a ticking clock, and there's going to be a lot of different of threats that are going to converge in these final 8 episodes. I think that's the goal. I think we're going to get the rebellion storyline, and I think our cast is going to be divided on what they think the approach should be. I would expect in these first couple episodes we're going to get a major death or two, and that is going to make a lot of people just anti-Commonwealth forever, and the other half are going to say we got to be reasonable and we have to deal with them. They're not all evil, right? I mean, there's a lot of people here. They can't all be evil, and this is a society that works. It's got a lot of resources. There's a lot going for the Commonwealth. So I think we're going to have that divide. And there's a similar point in the comic where we had a scene involving Dwight and Rick. I'm not going to spoil it per se because I do think they're going to adapt that. Essentially, Dwight was on the side of the rebellion, and he wanted to take out Milton, and Rick did not agree with that. So I think we're going to have somebody take the place of Rick. I think Maggie is probably going to be on the resistance side, and maybe Daryl's like stuck in between the two. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get the resistance storyline, and meanwhile, it looks like I wonder what's going on with Negan here. I'm not entirely sure. He's wearing his Whisperer mask. He seems to be out and about. There's, the car crash is going on. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe he's trying to lead his people away. So we're going to get the resistance storyline. I think we're going to get that moment with Rick and Dwight. Of course, we got Eugene in prison here. I think we're going to see Connie get in trouble for doing the journalism thing. I think we're going to see a lot of, the political machinations showing up. And I think Mercer is eventually going to turn to our side, as he does in the comic as well. And I think that maybe this is even like the turning point. So, I've already done my death predictions. We're not going to get into that. We're just going to talk about the overall plot. So I think we're going to deal with the resistance storyline. One of the thing that ends the trailer is zombie variants. We've talked about the variants at length on this channel. So the variants in the main show, I think, is an interesting twist. I didn't expect to see that. I honestly think it's just going to be a tease. I don't think that's going to be a huge part of the storyline, other than the fact that we had the ticking clock, like I said. It's to make the Horde extra scary, because we've seen Hordes millions of times. In Season 6, we had them deal with the whole Trent situation, and they had a whole system for how to redirect the Horde. So I think they want to avoid doing that exact same thing again. So that's why they brought in the variants. They're like, we have a Horde. We always have a Horde. We don't want to be too repetitive, so we're going to add this variant to it. So the variants, I think, is just going to be a tease. Now, how is the show going to end? This, I have no idea. I don't think we're going to get the comic ending. The comic ending was hopeful. It jumped to the future, and it showed Carl all grown up. And we got basically the book end of the story was this is the memory of Rick Grimes and what his influence meant. And it was ultimately a hopeful story. And I really love the ending. I don't think we're getting that. I don't think we're getting a time jump with all these spin-offs coming up next year. I think it's more likely... I think either we're going to get the Commonwealth is destroyed, or something cataclysmic happens, this Horde maybe, and then everybody splits off. And that's going to be the foundation where we start the spin-offs next year. So either that, or maybe the CRM comes into play somehow. Maybe we find out about the CRM, maybe the Commonwealth versus the CRM storylines are all being set up. Now, the showrunners and producers have all said that this is not going to be about setting up the spin-offs. We are focusing on ending the show. Now, of course, that's what they would say, regardless if that was true or not. I tend to believe them. So, I do think that we're not going to get, like, we already know Daryl just wakes up in Europe, so I don't think we're going to get any explanation for how he ended up over there. I do think that we're not going to get any explanation for how Maggie and Negan end up on their journey in their spinoff, Dead City. But, we might. I mean, it would contradict everything that they've said in their interviews, and they have, purposefully misled us before. So it's not completely out of the question that they would be setting up all these spin-offs. I have trouble seeing these spin-offs make sense without the CRM coming into the picture. That's part of what makes me think the CRM might end up being involved at the end. So that's where I'm at with it, guys. I'm really not sure how it's going to end. It's possible Rick will show up. We know he was on set on one of the final days of filming, but it could have just been, he's in the country and he just wants to see his friends before the show's over, etc. Maybe he was, had a meeting about the spinoff that's coming up next year. Maybe that was what was happening. Anything could have happened. If anything, I would guess that Rick is only going to be relegated to a post-credit scene or something like that, a tag teaser at the end. I don't think that they would spoil the whole series we got coming up next year, because it would kind of make it pointless if you knew he survived and all that. It would take away a lot of the tension if you see him in the main show and then we go back in time to see where he's been and how he got back there. It would take away a lot of the drama. It would make it a lot less interesting to have the spinoff. So, that's where I'm at, guys. I feel like I've ranted enough about it. What are your predictions for this final season? I'm trying to hype myself up. I'm getting ready. I want to go into this as a final season should feel. I want to feel excited. I want to be hyped. I'm not going to let Tales of the Walking Dead get to me and all my negative reviews so far. I'm going into this with hype. I'm going into this with high expectations, okay? So just so you guys know where my frame of mind is, I'm going in with high expectations because, motherfucker, we should have high expectations for this, okay? This is the final 8 episodes of one of the biggest blockbuster shows on television ever. I don't even know that we're going to get another 11-season show now that cable is pretty much falling out of favor and we're on streaming. Everything's so fractured now. I don't think we'll ever see a show like this in a while. Maybe ever. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you hyped? Or I'm hoping that other people who haven't watched the show in years are coming back. So hopefully we can get a big finale. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And with that, it's been your boy Shuggy, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.